Here we are on YouTube. Nathan, how you doing today?
I'm just great. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited, Nathan, because this is the second half of the interview we're going to go through right now. I think I lined it up where we were last time. I'm sorry. A better YouTuber would have it properly queued. I do apologize to all of our listeners and watchers of our channel. But here we go. Here is the second half to this great interview. I also want to plug, if you haven't already, go check out our Patreon where we've done the complete all those voices or all the voices, the documentary. It's 3 parts on our Patreon where we watch and review and react to Louis' documentary on Paramount Plus. So you can watch all of that on our Patreon. Maybe one day it'll be on YouTube, but even if it comes on YouTube, it will be heavily edited for YouTube. But okay. All right. Without further ado, which one is it, Nathan? Is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, that's
record labels think they're in control.
What's that?
Oh, that one.
Roger that.
But I could just put it out there if I want to. I lost my train of thought about it. I think I finished what I was saying. The stoner thing threw me out. It just became.
Oh, this is where we were. Yes.
Cannabis has changed my life. It's an amazing drug.
It's fucking amazing, man. It's fucking amazing.
Really, truly. Given me a whole new lease and perspective on how I operate.
It's great for perspective, man. Especially in my world. You need to be able to switch off in my world, man. It's good for that shit. Definitely.
It goes back to being able to leave things at the door sometimes and drawing that divide. Because even with a work-life divide, it allows you to focus on life, which then in turn actually inspires the art you're making.
Definitely. And also those social moments, man, like when you're chilling together, it's cool, man. It's lovely.
Community.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Faith in the future is your...
Yeah, weed's not for everyone, but I know there is a mental health component that people do use it for. I would rather, if you needed a sustenance, it's just me, my opinion. Nobody's asking for it, but that's why we do this. I'd rather people maybe smoke weed than drink alcohol. I think if you're going to need something to change to help relax your brain and to be, I think there's been enough studies on marijuana that it helps people's anxiety. And it sounds like that it helps him relax and chill with his friends. Probably a healthier choice than, say again?
A good hobby helps too.
Yeah, that helps too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure Louis could use a hobby. Yeah.
Sophomore album, but does it really feel like a sophomore album for you?
Educate me. Is sophomore an American term?
Yes. So it means second album.
Second album.
But is it related to education, or am I just assuming that?
No, it is. You're assuming correct.
Okay.
Hey, relax. He's just asking. He's like, no, we're not trying to insult you. Yeah, but there's UK words and stuff. Yeah, so sophomore, it's actually not even, it's American. It's not even Canadian. We know sophomores are your second effort. So yeah, I know it in the entertainment industry, I'm surprised Louis doesn't know that because it's an entertainment term. This is their sophomore effort. That usually indicates their second album after their debut album, a band's sophomore effort. So I'm surprised Louis doesn't know that in the musical term sense. So I wonder what the UK says, other than maybe just second album. But in the States, sophomore is, okay, for high school, it's, okay, junior is grade 11, senior is grade 12, sophomore is grade 10. And what is what are the other ones? I forget now. Yeah. Okay.
Junior, senior.
Well, no, junior is actually 11th grade. Senior is 12th grade. Really? Sophomore is grade 10. But I swear there was one for grade 9. I could be wrong. Let us know, Americans. Freshman, there it is. I knew it. I knew there was one. Okay, thank you. See? Look at me. That's right. Of course, we're not going to advocate or for against drugs or alcohol. In the sense, I'm just saying, know your body, know what you need to do, but just be healthy, be strong. Don't get addicted.
Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year of high school.
Okay, I'm learning. Okay.
So that's like between middle school and college.
Okay, cool.
But they always say there's so much pressure on a sophomore album, but for you, it's almost like it is, but it isn't.
I love how Dan has his name there. I didn't notice that before. He's got his little name there next to his computer. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
And it was something I was
see it again when Dad talks.
Thought about going into the second album, because that is something that people say, and there's obviously a certain pressure with the second record. I think my situation is quite specific, and coming out of a band like One Direction obviously brings its own pressures to then the first record that you make. So it almost felt like in reverse for me. The thing is, with new bands or new acts with their first album, sometimes they'll have a very clear identity, and then you've got to work out on the second record, do I evolve, do I keep the similar identity what I had before, etc., etc. Whereas with me, it went the other way around. I took baby steps on the first record, or at least on half of it, in terms of showing who I want to be as an artist. And it wasn't until I got through that whole process that I thought it's time to start fully matching what I love in terms of taste in music. So I felt much more pressure on that first record.
He said, look, I was in the largest boy band in the world for years, and now I've got to do a solo album. Yeah, the pressure is on that first album. Let's just be honest. 2 of the 5 boys failed out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because their sophomore efforts has Liam done a second album? Legit. Has Zayn done a second full album? Or is it doing well? Is he doing a world tour like Niall, Louis, and Harry have done? So I'm just saying, Louis is absolutely right. That first album is huge out of the gate. You're in this big band, touring the world, hundreds of thousands of attending your concerts. So yeah, the sophomore album is almost a gift. You're like, okay, I've already established myself. I've toured. I've done an album. All right, now I get to be a little bit more of what I want, which is it's a little bit more comfortable for him.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you, Louis. See, he agreed with me.
Because that's another thing with the tour. That
someone just said here that Zayn has 3 albums out. I don't know if that's good or bad that we don't know that, but that's good. Good for him. That's good for him.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing well. So people are saying he's doing well. Okay, good. We want everyone to be healthy and happy.
It's not that I don't feel like I can't lose right now, but if I don't win on radio, if I don't get radio support, if my record label decided tomorrow that they didn't want to be with me anymore, etc., I still have my fans and I still have my tour.
You could literally sell huge venues forever. You could release music forever, own every aspect of your music forever.
Yeah.
If anything, you could. I can argue to say you'd be in a much better, like you'd make a lot more money.
Yeah.
It's interesting he says that. We actually just did a video about bands' growth and things like that, how bands come and go. It's not offense to Louis. This goes for Harry. Everyone thinks they're Elvis, meaning even Elvis was king for a day. Like every fandom from the Beatles to Elvis to the Doors to Queen, like Louis can't do it forever. It's not because Louis can't, but it's just the way it works, folks. No artist has done it forever, been at the top forever. There's a peak and there are valleys. It goes for every art. Very few become like the Bruce Springsteens, but you have to have, that's 50 years of building a fan base. We're talking 50 plus years. So I hope Louis can. It's not an insult, but the reality is, I know the interview is just saying, hey, you're great on your own. You don't. But the reality is artists come and go from the Beatles to Louis.
But I think I'll just interject with this because I think this speaks more to Louis then, because Louis he's fine not being at the top.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Those peaks. He'd be okay in the valleys if he had to be, because I think that's what I'm getting from both this and the behind the scenes with Louis is he'd be just fine. He's not stressed about he is stressed about what everyone thinks, but he's not stressed in the way.
No, he doesn't. You're right about him. He doesn't need to. I was just speaking to the idea in general that every artist can't be that artist forever. It just doesn't happen in the industry that I've seen where someone is the top for 50 years. But yes, Louis can always tour. At the end of the day, that's what he's saying. Like at the end of the day, you can always tour. You're going to have your own music. People will show up because you're Louis, and he's right about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. That was something. It was something before I signed with BMG. That was something that I actually thought about going out independently. But it's difficult. You often look to the future, no pun intended, when you're thinking about this. And actually, what I didn't want to do is go out on my own and then be sat on my rocking chair when I'm 60, 70 going, maybe I should have actually had one more go with the major label. And actually my experience today, we'll see how we feel in a couple of years' time, but it's been really positive with BMG.
Yeah, because you're also amazing and you fucking work, dude. Don't work.
Yeah, that's true.
What Louis is saying, and this is what I appreciate, what Louis is saying, he's just saying that it's okay to be part of a contract. He's saying, look, BMG, what an industry or label will do for you that independent labels don't, is they help you with promotions, getting the word out, airplay. They work for the artist. That's the goal. Is they're like, hey, it's like independent that's exactly what it means. you're pushing your own product. You have to hire people to do what the record company is doing for you. But you have to give them a cut. There's no shame in being a part of a major label like BMG. And so Louis just saying, right now, BMG's treat me good, and I like what the results are. But if he doesn't like it, then yeah, he might go independent. There are people who are independent players. We don't know who they are. Why? Because they're not part of a major label, and that's just the way it works. It doesn't mean they're not talented. It doesn't mean they're not. I've always said there's amazing artists out there that you and I don't. That there's the best band in the world exists right now, Nathan. That we'll never hear.
Yeah,
they could have composed the greatest song that we'll never hear because they're not part of a label. It's just the way it works.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
and they do work hard. Like there's plenty of people that work as hard or not, if not harder than Louis, and they won't get recognized.
Yeah. This is the nature. Again, this is the nature of the business. It's not a criticism. It's just the nature of the business. Is the labels will produce your product, get it out there, give you a studio, give you the manpower to create the. Yeah. You get the point. Like our channel, Nathan. Our channel is huge. We have all these sponsors and.
Yeah. Nobody's jumping on the sponsor. No, we get all these requests for sponsors all the time, but it's like hawking their crap from
China.
We're not
China.
Yeah, China.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
And
I've been here, there, and everywhere this week. To be fair,
it's thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
It is crazy, and the amount of respect I have for you is fucking tremendous.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Because you genuinely don't. There's so many artists who have not even achieved what your pinky toenail has achieved, who would throw hissy fits out the ass to go to any of the cities that you've traveled to in the last week. And I just have the most respect. It just means a lot. And also you're cultivating relationships, so they better play your fucking record.
Too right, man.
We did talk about that before we started. What made you want to go to all these cities around America to promote the music? Because you really don't need to.
He's doing it because he loves the fans and wants to tour and he wants to visit these cities where his fans are. Why do you go anywhere? It's because the fans are there and you want to perform for them.
Yeah, a combination of things. I didn't expect to have a song like Bigger Than Me. I didn't have one on the first record, and what I mean by that is a real good chance at having a good, in inverted commas, single. You know what I mean? And that's fucking hell! I just completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, what did you just ask?
I was asking why you decided to go across America.
That's what
Two things. So I thought if we've got this song Bigger Than Me that in my opinion, feels like a good play, let's really try and give it everything we've got. And something I'd done on tour, and I'm going to do on the next tour as well, is try and play more. As well as the main markets, try and play more secondary markets as well. So that was the intention with radio, is getting out to other places. Now, the bottom line is, these radio stations that I went down to, everyone's been great and everyone was lovely. But the reason I've gone there is to go and see the fans in those places. So,
there you go, to see the fans. That's why he's doing it. To beat the fans. The fans are there. He wants to he wants to make sure everyone gets a chance. Even in these smaller markets, that they get a chance to meet Louis, which I think is great.
Maybe at the majority of those radio stations, we did listening parties. So fans were there and they got to listen to 3 or 4 of the new songs. So it's mostly about kind of giving fans who live in one of the secondary markets, in inverted commas, as we call it in the industry, just giving them that opportunity.
Good. There you go, Louis.
Do I need to do that? Maybe not, but me record label are very good at telling me that I do.
At the end of the day, you've already done it, and it doesn't hurt, and you build relationships with the people who live there, and truly with the radio station.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
Yeah, I hope so. But I love traveling anyway. There's been a lot of traveling in the last couple of weeks, but it's just good to. It's good to see so many different fans in so many different places. Definitely.
It's about the fans. At the end of the day, he does it for the fans. And his record label. Like his record labels. You're going to hit these markets, buddy. But he's happy to do it, though. He's happy to see the fans, of course.
Definitely. And also make them feel seen. Just because they don't live in New York or LA doesn't mean I'm not going to come down and say hello.
Have you felt or had the idea or the thought or the want to bring Away From Home to other cities all over the world?
Yeah, that is the... Away From Home, that's the name, mate. It always moves about.
Yeah, okay.
You've obviously not got the pun, have you? We need to work better on that. So we started in London.
Spain.
Then we went to Spain. All right, you do know your shit. Fair dude. Then we went to Spain. And then next year, I don't know why in my head it's coming to America not next year but year after. I don't know why, just instinctively that's where it's going to be. I would love, I don't want to say anywhere because then if it doesn't go, I have somewhere in mind.
Ooh.
Is it somewhere like we wouldn't expect?
I love Dan. He's like, somewhere secret.
Is it somewhere you're not going to say?
I know, sure, it's somewhere you wouldn't expect, but I can't tell you. Oh, I love it, Dan. You're the best.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends. It depends. For me, the most important thing out of that, sorry,
You can just tell you can tell with Louis, the way he answers Dan's questions, he's a gentleman. Louis is a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's being nice and cordial in this interview. But there's a part of him was like, how do I answer that question? Because I just finished saying I'm not going to tell you what it is. How can I answer? I don't know. People might not think of Australia. Maybe he wants to go to Australia or New Zealand or Zimbabwe, but he can't say, I don't know what your expectations are. So it depends what you think where I'm going. But because I can't say where I'm going, I don't know if they're going to be unexpected. Anyway, but bless his heart, he's a gentleman about it.
the most important thing out of that is that it feels like that it's grown since this year, which is going to be a challenge because it felt pretty big this year. Where we're going to take it next, and all I care about is that it's, you know, easily enough accessible for the fans to get to and also for the bands to play, and just somewhere visually that looks cool. But not really. I've not really got into exactly where.
How do you curate that set?
I'd love doing
lineup.
that, man. It's so sick. What, putting the set list together?
Yeah.
The band list. What do you call it? Lineup. There we go. Fuck. Yeah, it's something to put on a festival. It's always been a dream of mine. It's an idea I had in the band.
Again, the documentary spelled out that festival really well. Like, it was cool to see him do it together. So that was the big finale of the documentary. Spoiler alert, on Paramount Plus and on our Patreon. That was cool. So I'm glad we're doing this interview after the documentary.
Never quite materialized. Then the first time we did it in London last year was a free gig, and it was essentially just thank you to the fans, but also celebrating live music being back post lockdown and stuff like that. Now, putting the bands together for me, like I said before, something I've always dreamed of being able to do, having that kind of control and putting a show on that's basically just all the stuff that I love. And that's what I did. Instead of really trying to have too much finesse with what I was doing, it wasn't like I was trying to create a lineup that kind of fits in the middle of what I think the fans love and what I love. I just went with fully what I love. And what was amazing about that process was I watched every band in Spain, and the crowd's reaction. A couple of bands, they weren't so sure at the start, but by the end, everyone's moving, and that made me feel really proud, man. It gave me an opportunity to go, here's all the music I love, take it or leave it, and they took it. They loved it.
Dude, tastemaker, but also in the same breath, giving opportunity to bands that really wouldn't get that type of opportunity to be in front of that size of a crowd.
Maybe not at this stage in their career.
100%.
Exactly, and that's something that it's
Really special.
Yeah, man, it's always been important to me, that stuff. I think there's an element of, not guilt, because I came up in the way that I did through a reality show and obviously in the band. And
It's interesting. Okay, interesting. He's giving a little bit of a, because he's talking about what the Zach was saying. Like, it's cool of you. At the end of the day, it's cool of you to give an opportunity for people to come on stage. Look, the fans of these festivals are probably there to see you, but you've created your own festival where the opening act, so to speak, before you come on stage, get a chance to play in front of thousands of people. That kind of exposure they wouldn't get otherwise, and that's what opening acts are always for, because you become a fan of a band that's opening for a band that you're there to see.
Yeah,
and it's interesting that Louis just on his own kind of mentions like it because that's not how he was found. He was not an opening act. He was on I don't like the term reality show. It was a contest, a talent. It was a talent show on TV. That's really was. People have to have talents to be there. But yes, it's under the category of reality show. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. It was a talent.
He was given a lucky break on that show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like the band was formed for him. Like the producers got together and said, okay, hey, look, we've got Harry, we got these other boys. Maybe that we can do something with them as a group. So they were created, not, I want to say like artificially, but the producers and the talent agencies were like, hey, we've got something here. We can make these boys something. And they did. It worked. Like they saw what they saw and it worked. So he's saying that's a unique situation. And I can't run a talent show or a reality show, but I can still give people a chance to showcase their wares.
I just feel it makes sense for me to give back. I of course worked really hard to get to where I've got to, but also there was an element of luck in there, right place, right time,
Luck is
like
always
everyone.
a big part of
So
it, yeah.
as much as I can help with those things, but also like I said before, I'm a fan of these bands, so I get to watch them live for free. I'm
It's
buzzing.
two birds, one stone.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it to come to America. I'm inviting myself. Do you actually have a penguin?
It's open to the public. You don't have to invite yourself. You can just buy a ticket like everyone else. You're free to go. Dan can go too. Dan, can I go? Yes, Dan, you can buy a ticket as well.
Tattooed on your ass?
I do, yeah.
Let's see it.
I just looked straight at the camera there. I do. Will I show you it on camera? No, but I will say I'm going to speculate. They've got a lot of little ones. I want to say I've got between 30 and 40 little tattoos. I don't regret one of them except for that penguin on my ass.
Really?
It's the least sexy thing in the world. Whenever...
Yes, but it's on your bum. You could probably have anything on your bum and it would be sexy.
Why would you put a penguin there?
I don't know why the penguin. I don't know. That's a weird.
Sit
It is
down
a,
on a penguin every time.
That's a weird thing to put there.
It's
Comes
time.
the time that I do actually take my fucking trousers off. It's not fucking sexy, that shit, man.
Do you tell somebody before you take your pants off? Hey, just so you know, you're going to see something
A
serious.
little warning label. Yeah, I probably should, but no, I don't actually.
It doesn't have to now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine a girl being like, "Nope, can't do this, Louis. Can't do it.
Yeah.
You got a penguin on your
You
butt."
had me at the 29 other tattoos, but that
Yeah.
one,
Nope.
no. I love how he says tattoo, tattoo,
Yeah. Yeah.
tattoo.
Don't.
Someone's going to love you for you.
Exactly.
And a
exactly.
penguin included.
It was one of those things, man. It felt funny at the time. I think I lost a bet and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I could obviously have got out of it, but it's really weird as well. A penguin, and he's got like headphones on. I don't know why.
That's
it's a
cute.
penguin with headphones on my ass cheeks.
So he
for no
can't
fucking
hear,
reason.
so he can muffle out the sound of you
Farting.
getting the word farting. Fuck. What are you thinking over there?
But with the song, is it challenging to sing live because the chorus is very big?
It's fucking.
What? What was that segue?
It was good. It was Dan's trying to like bring it back. He's
No, but I'm curious.
Going off the
What are they
rails
talking
on
about? What
penguin
song are they
tattoo
talking
with
about?
the people.
Sorry, I stepped on you there. What song are they talking about? I've lost track.
oh, I don't know which song.
Yeah.
He just tried to like, hey, but with that song, let's get back instead of it was just funny.
Dan's mic sounded off too. they tried to turn off Dan's mic in the studio. Okay, bigger than me. Okay, all right.
Hard, man. It's really hard. It's like times like I remember the first few times I sang it and I just thought, I've written this. Why didn't I just write it a bit easier? You know what I mean? It's definitely the most challenging song I've ever had to sing vocally. But with that brings its own challenge. It gives me an opportunity that when I am on the ball, it gives my vocal a chance to shine, which actually on the other songs, there's not loads of moments like that. Sometimes I hide behind the melody or have done in the past, whereas there's no hiding behind a chorus like that. It is hard to sing, but it's almost more nerve-wracking because you understand the kind of what it takes vocally. So getting yourself into that mental prep, you're always thinking about how big that chorus is.
Did this song feel different when you were writing it in terms of, because now your label thinks it's a single, it is much bigger. Did it feel different when you were creating it?
I distinctly remember when we landed on the chorus melody, and I think at that time we had the title when we're going on the day of writing it.
Was that song when you wrote it, Louis? Was it bigger than you? Was it bigger than you, Louis? Was it, Louis?
And it did feel really exciting because, like I said, I didn't have a song like this on Walls, so I had a really good feeling about that song from the off. I probably shouldn't share this, but fuck it. Like when I first played it at record label, a couple of them actually said that it was like too alternative. When you hear the rest of my record, I think Bigger Than Me is one of the more, I hate using this word, one of the more pop moments, one of the more slightly more down the middle moments.
It's interesting. He does. Yeah, that's very telling. Where he doesn't. Oh, I gotta say that it's a pop song. That's not surprising considering some of the songs he's written. even like Harry and Niall too, where they want to steer away from pop sounding songs when we think of pop songs.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Even he didn't want to say, yeah, it sounds a little poppy compared to the rest of the other songs on the album.
I think the word he's looking for here isn't pop, though. I think it's more like
Accessible.
anthem.
Oh
No, I think it's like big, like stadium anthem.
Mm.
I think that's what he's going for, because that's the feel of that song.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's pop, but it's a little more. I think it's got a bigger, like the bigger than me is, because it feels very like anthematic. To me, that's how it feels.
Yeah, but I like that. Yeah, commercial might be, and that's okay. Commercial just means it's easily accessible. Like the song is very easy to hear and listen to. It's a great song. It's a great song, of course.
So it's funny the way that sometimes I feel like you just put a few guitars on something and record labels just go, oh, now it's alternative. But,
that is true.
Yeah, it really is. I had an amazing feeling in the room on that day, but I almost feel better about it now, only because I've had a couple of times, not loads, but sometimes when you have a really good atmosphere in the room when you're writing, it can properly blind you. And you'll think you've written an unbelievable song, and then you come back to it in 2 days' time and it's just nowhere near as good as you remembered. I have been conscious of that feeling of being excited in the studio and hoping that actually it's as good as you think it is in that moment. But yeah, I feel really good about this song.
I do see you as more of an alternative artist. I don't
Thank you.
want to put music or art into any box, but like when I saw the show, listening to Walls, listening to what I have of this new body of work, alternative.
Yeah, here's the thing. That is who I am as a person. It's who I want to be as an artist. It's perception, man. People have this preconceived idea of who I am as an artist before they've even heard a song of mine. That is what I'm up against. For example, even trying to get on alternative radio over here in the UK, no fucking chance. It's so fucking hard. Really fucking hard over here as well because of perception. And those things are challenging for me coming out of One Direction. It's who I am as a person. Well, definitely.
Yeah, that's the pound of flesh. One Direction, let's be honest, if Louis never existed in One Direction and he wanted to release this album outside of ever being in One Direction, like he knows the platform that One Direction gave. He understands that. He's grateful for it. He's talking about, but at the same time, that's the reality of his own stardom. It's like an actor who is popular in a certain film. Look, Daniel Radcliffe in Harry Potter. That movie series, he's actually a really good actor, and he's a very good actor. He's done some great roles, but he's always going to be seen as, hey, it's that guy from Harry Potter. It's not that he's not a good actor, but people just keep seeing. So Louis is the guy from One Direction, and it's that thing that even the Beatles suffered from when they went solo. It's that guy from the Beatles. Remember when he was in the Beatles? So it's a catch-22. You are who you are because of where you were, and you have these opportunities that other artists don't have. But Louis is saying, at the end of the day, I want to be more outside of the One Direction sound. That's who I am now. But it's hard to promote myself to these stations because Louis.
Yeah, he'll always have the momentum from One Direction, but I don't think that, because just like Paul McCartney, don't get me wrong, actually, when I say this out loud, I'm actually like, wait a second, no, I'd listen to that. If Paul McCartney did a metal album, I wanted to get on the metal.
I'd love to listen to Paul McCartney metal.
I'd love to listen to that. Yeah. Christopher Lee, famous Christopher Lee from Lord of the Rings and Star Wars fandom. He did a metal album, and it was like everyone wanted to, and he was on the metal chart for a little while. It's not to say that he can't get onto these charts. It's just they won't take him seriously. Plus, I think there's a part of it that goes with that the fan base that he's already established. They won't necessarily go with him over to there, or they might. That's not true. No, they totally would. I say that out loud. Yeah, if he went to an alternative festival and it was all alternative music, yeah, the fan base would follow. So don't listen to me. I'm wrong.
Nobody ever listens to us anyways. Don't worry. They fast forward every time we talk and they go right to where they should just watch this
interview.
They should just watch this interview on YouTube. I don't know why they're watching it with us, but
yeah, you are alternative. You are rock and roll. It exists in you, but also in your shows and the music. And I think it is twofold, right? Like here in America, the alternative radio format has gone to such shit that it's mostly a goal-driven format, meaning they play a great deal of old music that goes really far back in catalog. So when you look at an hour by hour breakdown of like new songs to old songs, because they've destroyed the format as a whole, they've had to rely more on playing fucking Weezer's Blue Sweater or whatever the fuck for literally the millionth time. It is perception, but also radio here has gone to total shit. It really has.
Yeah.
It really has. But you are alternative. You create fucking music that is, and I don't want to put anything in the boxes, but like when I listen to your records, they don't scream pop, but also in the same breath, pop is not a genre. It's a collection of different songs from all formats that funnel into pop music.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I do think sometimes, and maybe it's the wrong kind of description, but sometimes you're right in what you just say about pop there, but I have to hear those words because instinctively it almost just means safe to me. That's how I interpret it in my head. You're right in what you say. But instinctively on the surface, when I'm thinking about something that is pop, because even if I'm thinking in the context of a film, if it's too pop, I don't mean it's too popular. I just mean it's too safe.
Yeah,
Do you know what
totally.
I mean?
Too vanilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very
exactly.
cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But you're not cookie cutter.
No chance.
People are shoving their fingers down your throat at their concerts.
Yeah, it gets intense, man.
I've seen.
Maybe you just got to pick up a guitar and play guitar on stage, and people are like, ah, now he's a rock star.
Yeah.
You're brutal.
Oh, Dad, you're adorable. Yeah, I got an idea, Louie. Why don't you just pick up a guitar and play Enter Sandman or something? Then you'll see that you're a rock star. That's. Oh, he's adorable. Okay, let's see how he responds to this. Okay.
Honestly, sometimes this industry is funny like that. That might be all it takes. I do actually need to. I've been playing guitar loosely for the last 4 or 5 years. I've stayed at level 1 for the last 5 years, but I've been telling myself maybe on next tour I'll bring it out for a couple of tunes.
There you go. Push yourself, Louie. Push yourself. You got it.
That would be great.
But he's
That
got a
would be
great band. He's got a great band.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love his band. They're a great band. They're great friends. We saw that in the documentary, how tight they are. It was cool to see that storyline. Maybe I would have asked the question to the effect of, okay, have you ever considered changing just the tone of the guitars? Because your songs do have a rock edge. Some of your songs do have that. A lot of rock is just a matter of changing the tone, the tenor of the guitar to make it a little bit heavier. Have you considered going in that, excuse the pun, Louis, in that direction on a later album? Maybe looking at some harder edge sounding songs.
A little throwback.
That's what I would have asked, something like that. It's not a matter of putting a guitar in front of Louis, but you have to change the tone. That kind of a more of a still popular, easily accessible, but with some solos and guitar rock sounding to it, anthemic rock sound. So that's what I would ask. But okay,
Just about being brave enough in that situation.
You nervous?
Like anything. I'm comfortable doing the way I do it now. So just to add another element to it would be scary. But that's how I picture myself.
That's what nervous is.
Like if I'm speculating about where I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, I've got a guitar in my hand. Ideally, it's just about being brave enough to get up and use it.
We started this conversation even.
it's interesting. We just did the Harry concert, and he played piano for the first time in front of his fans. So there you go. You got the One Direction boys pushing themselves out of their comfort zone. So there you go. You got Harry playing the piano in front of his fans for the first time, and then Louis. Let's do it, Louis. You got to do it. Play the guitar in front of your fans.
I don't discourage this, by the way. I think if you're going to be relevant 10 years from now, and I mean that in the best way, I don't mean like popular, relevant. Right. You do have to keep on innovating, even if it's just adding something.
Yeah, so you do have to change a little bit. You're right. Very few bands can be AC/DC.
Yeah.
I'm just serious. Like you have to change your. Yeah, you do.
I think before we started on air about you got to challenge yourself. You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly that, man. Yeah.
It's how you win. It's how you grow. It's how you strive.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to listen to Faith in the Future, Louis Tomlinson's most recent body of work. There's going to be a link in the description below.
Is he talking to us right now? Okay, I think he's looking at us.
I think he is.
Okay.
Us, the Welptum.
We've reacted to the whole album, available on our YouTube.
Thing, man.
You
keep up, man.
Come on, Zach, keep up with our channel. Come on.
Did you end up releasing the track list because Amazon Music leaked it by accident?
Yes.
I'm sorry. On behalf of Amazon Music, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone got a lighter? No, I'm joking. Although, honestly, it begs belief sometimes, that kind of thing. I remember getting the call, and I'm just like, what the fuck do you mean? They've put the fucking track listing out there. So, yeah, we had to just jump the gun and go, here it is.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's what it is, man. It's what it is.
Well,
People make mistakes.
So I remember last year in the Welpdom,
Yeah.
I think somebody said they've leaked the track
Yeah.
listing and they
Yeah.
posted it in the Welpdom in our Discord. That was interesting. So
Yeah.
that's why. There you go.
Yeah,
Now we know.
I get it. For me, I was nonplussed by it because, sure,
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't
the
like
title of the
"Woo!"
song, but some people get really excited by that. That's fine. I get it.
Because people then get these titles and they're building stories, and there is hype around these records before they even come out.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Okay, I don't know what Lou's gonna say, but if I was the artist, I'm just gonna. I would. Nobody cares what I have to say, but I would just be like, I would just say, I think it's great that fans are so engaged to what I have to offer that they're actually creating these stories. I just hope that whatever story they've created lives up to what I actually have to give them. That's what I would answer. But yeah, I'm glad they're excited. That's how I'd answer. I'm glad the fans are excited. That if they're excited by just the tracks alone, the titles, cool. I hope they like the music too. Yeah. I might say something like that. Let's see what Louis says.
I don't know. I suppose it's good and bad. Instinctively, I when it first the titles first came out, I was devastated. I was not devastated. That's been dramatic, but I was frustrated. But you're right. Just get people talking about it. Just get people's brains thinking, what does this title mean, and blah blah blah. But at the time, I was fucking fuming. I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is. I'm over it now.
We move on.
Yeah.
Faith in the Future is the album.
I don't think he's happy about it at all. He's been diplomatic. I think it really upset him more than he's maybe letting on. And that's fair. That's his right to feel that way. Yeah.
Looking at my notes here, am I missing anything?
Dan, you got anything else?
The mystery van. Do you still own the Scooby-Doo mystery van?
Do you know what's fucking so shit about that? Honestly, there's certain things when I was younger and I speculated what this world might be like, and it wasn't thinking about things like this. So me and Zane got it together. So I think I was like 20 and he was like 19. We got this white like builder's van and we wrapped it as the mystery machine. Do you know the irony? I don't even love Scooby-Doo. Like I don't mind it, but like it was just like a funny thing to do. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And we built, do you know where the window wipers, the jet for the wipe.
Right here. There was something planned for the fans to figure out the song titles out, and the leaking ruined that for Louis. So he did have something in mind for the fans that got ruined by that leak. Because he had something in mind that he wanted to do that got ruined. All right.
Yes.
So it's like this big and it's got two little fucking nozzles. We had them on side at van facing out, so you could press a button on the van to squirt water at passers by. It was genius, man. Anyway,
What?
we'd had the van about a month, and then fucking whoever owns Scooby-Doo, God knows, some greedy fucker,
Hanna-Barbera. They own the
sent management an email saying, unless you agree to ABC, it's a copyright infringement and you have to take it off.
What the? But you're not making money off. It's for your personal use.
I'm not going to lie. When we were in One Direction, the fact that One Direction are going around it, that's good promo.
Yes.
I don't care how big Scooby-Doo is. But honestly, like...
How dare you? Scooby-Doo's bigger than One Direction. How dare you? That's funny. I love seeing that honest reaction from him. Like, come on, man. What the... Really? One Direction, a guy from One Direction's driving your mystery mobile? Wouldn't you? That's great promo. That's free advertising for the cartoon.
And in the end, we spat our dummies out, me and Zane. We're like, fuck it then. We drove around in like a white builder's van for a while.
Because that's not creepy.
A little bit suspect. But yeah, we were just a mad one. Greedy fuckers, man. Madness, isn't it?
Pieces of shit.
Calm down, Zach. They're also a business. I get what they might be saying. They're just saying, look, this is a brand. It might be a weird mixing of two different brands going on here, that we have Louis driving our Scooby-Doo van around. We
didn't give permission.
That's right. We're like, it might be a mixed message for what we're about. It's not about, yeah. I know what Louis is saying, but Zach, they're not pieces of crap. They're just, they have their own vetted interests, like about, it'd be like if he was driving a Burger King vehicle. Burger King would probably be like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know if that's our message right now, having Louis drive our Burger King van around. But anyways, this is funny.
please listen to Faith in the Future. You and Zane are still friends, yeah? You got like there's a.
I think it was like this last interview, like last time when I spoke about it before. Are we friends? You'd have to ask him. I feel like I think last time, I could be wrong, but I believe I said, when you asked me a similar question before, I believe I said, I don't think I'm mature enough to get over. Maybe I'm getting confused, but in my head, I thought I said, I don't think I'm mature enough to get over what's frustrated me in that relationship. I don't know if I'm mature enough now, but I'm definitely closer to being over all that.
So no, you're not friends. You're not friends. That's I know he's being diplomatic and he's got to be careful, but if you're friends, what would your answer be? Absolutely, we're friends.
Absolutely, we are. Just talked to him last week.
Just talked to him. He is no, they're not friends, and that's totally fine and legit, and I get it. It's just too bad that sometimes celebrities just can't just say it. Like they do this. Not just him. All celebrities. What was it like working with so and so in that movie set? Oh, Bill's Bill. You know how Bill is.
Yeah. As soon as that question gets asked, all the lawyers go. Just waiting to see what they say.
He's not saying. But I love how he's Louis, because he's a gentleman. He's a sweetheart. He's putting it on himself. He's saying, "I don't know if I'm mature enough to." Well, you are. If I remember correctly, he got hurt. I think he was hurt by this. I think Louis might have been the closest to Zayn in the group, and I think he was hurt when he performed that song after his mother died, and somebody didn't show up, and everyone else did the shoulder support to Louis, and I think that stung him, as it probably should sting him. He's human too, and but maybe he's even better now. A year later,
been numerous times over the last couple of years where I've thought about him and hoped he's all right. So, and I've tried. It's hard. I've tried to get in touch with him, but it's hard. Those kind of things. But I definitely wish him well.
He's been posting some clips of One Direction songs on Instagram, and you've been liking them.
Yeah, but Louis, you like something. Yes, because I wish him all the best, and that was a good days. Those were good moments of our life.
That means that you're in love.
I know that means you want to marry him. Oh, Dad. Dad, I love it. Dad, I want you all the time to ask the questions. Dan's the best. I love him. He's the best character.
There you go. You've done your research there. Yeah.
Oh, Louis leaving. Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. You've done your research. That is hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
The You and I high note?
Huh?
The You and I high note?
Come on, man. He's a different caliber in terms of singer, Zayn. Definitely, I will say that. Yeah, and do you know what? We're really nice. It wasn't just what's the word? Like aimless. I wasn't just liking it for the sake of liking it. I'd say it was a nice feeling, because in the past he said what he said about the band, and I understand some of what he was saying. But for me, that on those videos, it showed he was reflecting. It showed he was thinking about those times.
Yeah. And Louis has fond memories of those times. I was saying, I too like those times. Yeah, those were good times. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Of course, at the same time, showing off his incredible voice. But that's why it made me feel good, because it was like, maybe you've got you're thinking about good times in the band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like as you grow and you look back, things do take on new meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
But also some end up seeing the past a little bit differently than others.
Yeah, that's true. I think in time. The thing is, we just have to bump into each other, because neither of us have each other's number. I suppose maybe social media might be the way. But,
slide into the DMs.
Exactly, yeah, fucking hell. I think I know him too well for that.
You drove in a white painter's van together?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we go way back, man. You remember me, right?
Remember? We got that van together? I gotta ask, that Liam Payne, Logan Paul thing.
You're brave. I fucking rate you for bringing this up, right? Remember what you're going to say, but I'm glad you brought this up.
Why?
Because my great...
What? Liam Payne,
The Logan Paul. Remember, Liam was on Logan Paul's podcast or something, and he goes pushed into it, but he said some things about the band.
That's right. So he's saying you're brave for bringing that up. Maybe, but that's I props to Zach. That's a great. Okay, I props to Zach for bringing that up, saying, "Hey, this happened." But you can say no comment, that's fine. But I remember, Liam wasn't quite sober maybe during that, and he might have got a little bit of pressure from the guys on the mic there. But it happened, and let's see what Louis says about that.
Bands that help me not miss a trick. You know what I'm going to say? They said, and to be fair, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad because when I first went online and I seen like the fans like saying, obviously, like you'd said something about Liam, I was like waiting for it to listen. It wasn't too bad. It was that one tweet, was it?
Yes.
Which you now obviously feel really
regret.
bad for because you're a good person with a good heart and you don't want to shit on someone like Liam.
No, here's the deal.
I'm joking. I'm enjoying.
So apparently Zach posted a not so nice tweet about Liam, and that's why he said he's brave for bringing it up. Okay, you know what? Look, Zach is obviously likes Louis and he's friends with, so he felt protective. So something must have been said about Louis from Liam, maybe.
Watching you fluster, man.
he was expecting this and he was nervous. He knew it was
because
coming.
truly, when you look back at life, there's things you regret that you've said, and that is one of the things that I regret tweeting, mainly because when you watch that video, you can see if you really watch and you really give it time and you choose not to just live on the surface and look into his eyes in that video and really try to understand where he's at, it's somebody who's genuinely hurting. It's somebody who's genuinely confused. It's somebody who is still very much processing, is somebody who is still navigating life, but also processing the past. And that's hard.
Yeah.
And I knocked somebody while they were, in my opinion, like going through.
You kicked him on the floor, essentially.
I did. And that's incredibly wrong of me. And from that moment, I have learned completely, and I would never in a million years do something like that again. Because really, truly, I tweeted while I watched on the surface as opposed to really understanding what was going on there and really what we were all witnessing.
And also thinking about the person. And
Totally.
saying, and we all make the mistake of having these judgments when we watch videos or whatever it might be.
You're human, Zach. You had an emotional response, and now it lives on the internet forever. But we've all said things out of anger and spite that didn't get tweeted. Like, that's not fair to Zach. Just because he said something on social media that he felt that was a real feeling for him, whatever it was real for him. Okay, then he calmed down. And, oh, okay. Look, I've said stupid things in my life, but at the time I felt what I felt. I don't know what to tell you. But when you calm down, you're like, oh, okay. I probably shouldn't have said that. But it's good that he's apologized, but don't beat yourself too much, Zach. You probably felt protective of your friend.
Let me say, this job is fucking challenging at times, mentally. Very fucking challenging at times. And I know no one who's listening to this wants to fucking hear that because we've got it good. I appreciate that. But at the same time, there are times where it is challenging mentally. And all I'll say on that, and I don't really want to comment too much on it, but all I'd say on that was, I think, which of those annoying Paul brothers was it?
Logan.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, the buttons he was pressing, and that's what I took away from it. I just thought whoever's involved in that show, that annoying Paul brother himself, whoever the other weird guys were, it just felt disrespectful. That's all I'd say. And it.
Oh, interesting. He's putting on the podcasters for being dicks about it and trying to create drama.
And we've heard that from others. People have said, we haven't seen this, by the way.
No, we haven't seen the
Neither of us
no.
have seen this, but others have told us that he was somewhat coerced into it, meaning it's ultimately it's his choice what he says. It doesn't say, but there was apparently some pressure.
Sure.
Like,
That kind of peer pressure. Come on, spill the juice type. Come on. You can say what you want to say here. It's a safe zone. I don't know what they said, but something to that effect where they made him feel safe, and he might have been a little bit inebriated, but yeah.
No.
Just and they got so much out of it, as if he hadn't got enough already. I fucking hate them Paul brothers.
That's awesome. I find that interesting that he went public with that, and he just says I don't like the Paul brothers. So
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah. No, they're
You've got the look of a man who's friends with both of them.
No, I can promise you right now that Jake Paul blocked me on Twitter. I am his greatest hater. I am the loudest. I scream on the rooftop.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
Oh,
that's great.
There's a special place in hell waiting for Jake Paul.
I knew I liked you, though.
I appreciate you having this conversation with me, as I genuinely regret that tweet. And
as you should.
Liam Payne, I'm so deeply sorry. And if I see you in any situation or in a
if you
situation
see
like this,
him, you're going to
apologize.
you're going to apologize and also offer to buy him a new pair of trainers.
Whatever. That done.
Deal?
Done.
All right, cool. I like that. Nice.
Just like that. Final thoughts here?
Yeah, this is your second album, and Take Me Home was One Direction's second album. Does it feel at all the same, or is it just like feel completely different going into a second album?
This whole experience has felt.
Yeah, that's holy Dan. Talk about bringing it down. We had this juicy Jake Paul stuff going on. And he's like, "Hey, you remember
back
when
to
you're
like minute 5 of this interview and we talked about your second album?" Yeah.
I had a question here that I get a chance to ask. We've been doing this for an hour. So is there any correlation? He already explained it. The second album solo doesn't feel as stressful because he felt the first one was more stressful, leaving the huge band like One Direction. I would assume that the second album, One Direction, probably wasn't that stressful because he shared it with 4 other guys, and the producers are their fingers deep in those early albums too with One Direction.
Yeah.
So it's more of a performer than actual. It's all on me, Louis. So there's probably very little stress. Let's see what he says. All right.
So drastically different to my solo career to the One Direction days. Around that second album, we just had the amazing success of the first album. We as a band didn't really have that second album thing where we were nervous because it was already so big by then. Everything just felt different, you know. I would say appreciate everything more now, but that's also probably down to my age as well. I was dead young when that album came out. I must have been about 20, so like 10 years ago. But yeah, I would say the two feel like very different.
Do you feel different now that you're 30 than when you're 20?
But now you've said that.
I hope he has another question. I hope he has another question.
I love that. Look, just so before people start yelling at me in the
they will anyway.
Oh, I'm just having fun. I'm just having a little bit of fun. Dan's adorable.
Find the right time to listen to a bit of that album, see if I can get myself in that old dead space. Fucking hell, that feels like a lifetime ago now.
I can't believe it was 10, 12 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
We just said that. Yeah, he's 10 years old now. He's adorable. Does Dan have his own show? Can we review or react to Dan's own interviews?
Insane.
it's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Louis Tomlinson, I appreciate you beyond.
We appreciate
No worries,
it.
man. Thanks for having me on.
Hopefully for every album, you find it in your schedule. While you're
Is that a dig?
Well, no, what? No, between Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And
Because I know we rescheduled this once or twice. No. Yeah, I thought that was a little dig. Okay.
Wait, you're
okay.
so in the know.
Yeah, man.
Are you? No, it wasn't a dig. I swear to you. And we can literally. You're one of my favorite guests to ever have on the show, and
thank you, man.
I thank you for always giving us not only like really incredible time, but the most honesty, and you come totally as you are, and I have an insane amount of respect and appreciation and admiration for you. So I just thank you for doing that, and then also thank you for being true to yourself and making music that is an extension of your actual being, and doing it because you feel like you need to, not because to do it.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Thanks for having me on. And honestly, man, like I said to you before, it just feels dead natural, man. It's nice for me to be able to do interviews where I can feel like I can be completely myself. And also, I know a couple of them are probably still a little bit grumpy about that Liam tweet, but the rest of the fans, they love this shit, man, because it's dead real. It's honest.
Thanks. We try, and
Your fans have been asking for a follow-up from the first one for years.
Yeah, because that was great, man. That was.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he said there.
Your fans have been asking for a follow-up from the first one for years.
Okay.
It's great. Hopefully this one will be, that's good.
I think so.
Judge it in the comment section below, but also while you're down there, please listen to Faith in the Future, and you can listen to all of Louis Tomlinson's discography on Amazon Music.
And iTunes.
Where we did leak the track list early.
Are you planning a tour for this album?
Dan, read the room. We're closing. We're closing the interview. It is over. We're saying goodbye. For the tour, what kind of props do you think you might have? No, he's never toured again, Dan. That's it. It's over. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see how Louis handles this.
Yes. I just finished only like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, but pretty much 2 months into this tour this year, I said to my manager, let's try and get out as quick as we can, try and keep this momentum going. So I'll start probably middle of next year, but nothing's set in stone yet.
Exciting, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very exciting, man. I feel like I've finally got the ball rolling, so let's have it.
He's a rock star, not a pop star.
There we go, man.
Yeah, tattoo that.
I love Dan. I love him. He's a rock star, not a pop
not a
star.
pop star.
Oh, Dan. Zach's like, Dan, we'll have to talk after the show, please.
Somewhere next to the penguin. Louis Tomlinson, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's great that we got to see this after the documentary. I think it gives us much more context for some of the conversations that they're having. I am very curious to see the Liam interview now. Like, I know it's very controversial.
It might be uncomfortable. I don't know. That'd be a cringe watch.
Yeah. But I am like,
let us know in the comments below. Should we watch it? Do you want to hear our thoughts? Oh, I don't know.
I feel much more informed about Louis in general. I think between this and that other documentary, we already were endeared towards Louis, but I think this just the way that he's handling this interview, I think that's a key takeaway from this is Louis can take the kind of dumb questions and the good ones all in stride, and he's very quick and careful on his feet. So good for him.
Yeah, I've said a lot, obviously, during the interview, so not much more to say. We love Louis. Check out our documentary coverage on our Patreon that we did, 3 episodes of the documentary. Louis was a gentleman. He handled those questions deftly, kept a smile, kept it real, didn't bury anybody except for the Paul brothers, which is fair. Yeah, there you go.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone, for joining us from Discord, or not Discord. I don't know why I went there. From our Patreon and from Twitch. And if you're watching it on YouTube, if it gets there, we love all the support. We love all the support. And we'll see you in the next one.
We done? Well, I'm out of here.